So, some explosive news coming out of the White House today. A senior US intelligence officer, Joe Kent, the head of the National Counterterrorism Unit, has just resigned. And his resignation letter in this period of time is absolutely not routine. In it, he directly questions the justification for going to war, challenges the administration's decision making, and warns about the dire consequence that the administration is going to go through due to this decision. This is not just a resignation, it is a very, very bad signal about the time to come. I am Mukund, and in today's video, we'll be decoding what this resignation is about, who really resigned, what are the side effects of his resignation, and what might happen after it. Welcome to the channel. If you like the content, make sure to like, share, and subscribe. So, what has really happened? So, in the United States right now, Joe Kent, which is the head of or the so, what has really happened? Joe Kent, the director of the National Counterterrorism Center in the United States, has just resigned and has decided to step down. And in his resignation letter, he has said, and I quote, he has made one thing very clear. He says that I cannot, in good conscience, support the ongoing war in Iran. So, why is this important? This is very important as he is a Trump appointee. And being a Trump appointee, he is the head of the counterterrorism unit of the United States. The fact that he does not support the war in Iran that's happening right now, and he has chosen to resign rather than continue, speaks volumes about what must have happened inside the White House to make sure he responds in such a way. So he's someone who has been in the system for a very long time. He's a Trump appointee and he's an ex-military personnel. He has a wife who passed away in a terrorist attack, and that led him to join the army. And then later on, when he left the army, he left it to join politics because of the reason that his wife was killed in such a terrorist accident. So he comes from deep inside the military establishment. He's a right winger basically, and he has been known to support the Tucker Carlson side of the MAGA vote base of Donald Trump. And he's at the highest level of intelligence clarity. So he's holding one of the highest levels of intelligence clearance in the US government. And he has seen a lot of things that me and you or the mainstream media or even some Congress members might have not seen. The fact that after seeing so many things, he has decided to tender his resignation means something really serious is going on within the administration. So now let's break down what the contents of the letter are. I'm going to try to show you the letter, show you the information straight from the horse's mouth. So as you can see, this is the letter that he has addressed to President Trump. Is basically it's a resignation letter. Let me read it to you and let me try to help you read between the lines. So he has said, as you can see, he's the director of national intelligence at the National Counterterrorism Center. This is in the heart of Washington. You can see the seals of the agency and the government there. So I quote and I start to read the letter. After much reflection, I have decided to resign from my position as a director of National Counterterrorism Center effective today. So he's officially out. I cannot in good conscience support the ongoing war in Iran. Iran posed no imminent threat to our nation, and it is clear that we started this war due to the pressure from Israel and its powerful America lobby. So what he's talking about right now is something called as AIPAC. I will make another video explaining what they are, what is this lobbying group. It's one of the biggest lobbying groups in the United States. The top are the pension funds, and then comes the Israeli or the Jewish PAC, which is political committees responsible for funding congressional runs. We'll make later a detailed video on that topic as well. So he continues to say, I support the values and the foreign policies that you campaigned on in 2016, 2020, and 2024. So he's referencing Donald Trump's presidential runs, which you enacted in your first term. Until June 2025, you understood that the wars in the Middle East were a trap that robbed America of its precious lives, of our patriots, and depleted the wealth and prosperity of our nation. So Trump has campaigned consistently throughout all of his election campaigns that I don't want any wars abroad. I don't want to send people to die abroad. I don't want to spend money because wars are very expensive. And the people, the base, Trump's base, the MAGA base, actually voted for him on the basis of those promises. And the fact that he's going and getting into the quagmire of Iran right now is he's doing the opposite of what he got voted on. Continuing, in our first administration, you understood better than any modern president how decisively apply military power without getting us drawn into never-ending wars. You demonstrated this by killing Qasem Soleimani by defeating ISIS. So, Trump had some military objectives and victories in his first term. He killed Obviously, Qasem Soleimani, one of the leaders of the Quds force of the IRGC, in a very high-profile airstrike in Iraq. I think we have all seen that news during. I think it was just around coronavirus, and then he defeated ISIS when they were in Syria. So these were his. This is basically him talking about the things that Trump has done right in his previous administration or his previous presidential tenure. So let's continue. Early in this administration, high ranking Israeli officials and influential members of your American media deployed a misinformation campaign that wholly undermined your America First platform and sowed pro war sentiments to encourage a war with Iran. So, this is directly making Israel responsible for that. Now, we don't know whether that's true. We might never know. We might come to know much later. But if he's in the position that he was, he might be speaking some truth. um, I think there is some truth to this. Israel is very influential, and there is a very good chance that they might have manipulated information being fed into the administration and to the people around Donald Trump. And because of that misinformation, Mr. Joe Kent is basically trying to say that Trump pivoted away from his America First philosophy and tried to support or started supporting a war with Iran. In this echo chamber, it was used to deceive you into believing that Iran posed an imminent threat to the United States and you would strike now. There was a clear path to swift victory. This was a lie and is the same tactics the Israeli used to draw us into disastrous Iraq war that cost our nations the lives of thousands of our best men and women. We cannot make this mistake again. So he's a veteran, right? So he has been to these wars, and I think multiple of them. I will try to put it in the description of how many wars did he go through. But he has been through this. He knows what war is. He has fought them. He's lost his wife to them. It is devastating for a person to lose the mother of his children, and he knows the cost that the United States bears to take a part of this, be a part of this war. So he continues to say, as a veteran who deployed to combat 11 times, we have the answer right there. As a Gold Star husband who lost my beloved wife Shannon in the war manufactured by Israel, I cannot support sending the next generation off to fight and die in a war that serves no benefit to the American people nor justifies the cost of American lives. I pray that you will reflect upon what we are doing in Iran and who we are doing it for. The time for bold action is now. You can reverse the course and chart a new path for our nation, or you can allow us to slip further into decline and chaos. You hold the cards. It was an honor to serve you in your administration and honor to serve our great nation. Joseph Kent. So he's an insider, right? He's a deep insider, and he's basically saying the same things that we have been hearing recently from other media outlets, which are basically saying that it's Israel who manipulated Donald Trump to get into the war. There are a lot of conspiracy theories that Israel had some material on Trump. We really don't know. What we do know is that Trump took a decision and he went into war. If he was influenced by Israel, that would be a very, very dark spot on US foreign policy. And an insider coming out, especially the head of the counterterrorism center in Washington, D.C., and doing all this is a major blow to the administration. And then Donald Trump came out and said something like this.
Mr. President, your Director of National Counterterrorism, Joe Kent, he just resigned today. He said he can't support your conflict with Iran. What's your reaction to that? And did you
Well,
talk
I
to
read his statement. I always thought he was a nice guy, but I always thought he was weak on security, very weak on security. I didn't know him well, but I thought he seemed like a pretty nice guy. But when I read his statement,
He's an appointee by Trump, right? And I don't know how can you say that he was weak on security and all of those things. So that's contradictory Trump, as we all know him. But it is something major that's coming out of the administration. I think there are more of such high profile resignations or leaks to follow. I will keep you updated on the channel as and how they progress. But on in concluding the video, I would like to say that it is coming into light that the US might have been forced into this war. Marco Rubio, there's infamous statement that he had given that if they would attack us, we would have attacked them. Then we did attack them. What happened in that. So it's becoming more and more clear now whether United States will be allowed to pull out of Iran the way Trump wants to do a mission accomplished like George Bush did is yet to be seen. I will keep on giving you updates daily as the war progresses. Currently, let me just give you a rough update about where Brent is sitting at. One second. So currently crude oil WTI is sitting at 98 US dollars a barrel. We have Brent crude sitting at 109 US dollars a barrel. It's quite high. I don't think so there is any light of any kind of reduction of prices, especially after the information that's come through that The United States is delaying its meeting with Xi Jinping scheduled in China by a couple of weeks. I think it's going to be rescheduled by a month. If that's going to happen, the market is going to price in a extended continuation of this conflict. It might continue beyond 4 to 6 weeks as it was previously said. It might even go into months. So we are looking at least an extension till the end of April. Let's see how it goes. I'm Mukund. I hope you enjoyed today's video. If you did, make sure to like, share, and subscribe, and I will see you tomorrow.